The secret army that fooled Hitler with rubber tanks. This is the story of the Ghost Army, a unit of 1,100 American soldiers who never fired a shot in anger and who may have saved tens of thousands of Allied lives by doing something no army had ever tried before, pretending, on purpose, at a scale big enough to fool Adolf Hitler's own generals. Picture a Sherman tank sitting in a field in France. 50 tons of American steel, cannon aimed at the tree line, engine idling low. Now watch as two soldiers walk up and pick it up. They carry it like furniture and set it down 30 feet to the left. Because it's not steel. It's rubber. Filled with air. And it's about to help win a war. Early 1944. The Allies are planning the invasion of Europe, and the math is brutal. German intelligence is good. Their radio listening posts are excellent. And every real tank, every real artillery battalion, every real division the Allies move into position is another data point the enemy can use to guess exactly where the next attack is coming. So a strange question starts circulating in the halls of the US Army. What if we didn't just hide our real forces? What if we invented fake ones? Not a decoy here or there. A phantom division. Thousands of soldiers worth of tanks, trucks, artillery, and radio chatter that don't exist. The army pulls together a unit for the job and gives it a bureaucratic, forgettable name on paper, the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. Nobody outside the unit would learn its real nickname for decades, the Ghost Army. And the men they recruit are not your typical infantry. They pull artists from art schools, sound engineers from radio studios, fashion illustrators, set designers. One of the recruits will later become a legendary fashion designer. Another will paint some of the defining art of the 20th century. Right now, though, they are being taught how to lie to an entire army with paintbrushes, loudspeakers, and Morse code. The Ghost Army is built around 4 weapons, and not one of them can kill a single German soldier. Weapon 1: inflatable rubber tanks. Manufactured back in the States, shipped over in crates, and inflated by hand in the field, sometimes in under 20 minutes. A 4-man team could stand up a fake tank battalion before breakfast. From the ground, at a distance, they were convincing. From the air, which is exactly where German reconnaissance planes were looking, they were even better. Painted with the same camouflage patterns, parked at the same intervals real armor would use, even given fake tank tracks dragged into the mud beside them with tools built for the purpose. Weapon 3: radio deception. This might be the most dangerous job in the entire unit. Specially trained radio operators didn't just go silent or jam frequencies, they impersonated real units. They recreated the exact sloppy, human rhythm of a division's radio traffic, the routine chatter, the supply requests, the particular fist or typing style of specific real operators they'd studied. To a German signals analyst listening in, an entire division seemed to be moving and settling into position, built entirely out of 2 or 3 men and a radio set. Weapon 4: what they called atmosphere. This one didn't need any machines at all. Soldiers would drive into a town and act. They'd paint fake unit insignia onto real jeeps, sew the wrong division's patches onto their own uniforms, and then just talk. Loudly. In the town cafe, at the local bar, they'd let slip fake rank insignia, complain about fake commanding officers, hint at fake troop movements, all engineered to reach the ears of anyone in that town who might be a German sympathizer or informant. Sometimes two ghost army soldiers would even impersonate real, famous American generals, complete with the correct staff car and the correct entourage, driving slowly through a town so that word of a general's visit and the division he'd supposedly brought with him would spread by evening. Understand what happens if this goes wrong. A rubber tank doesn't shoot back. If German reconnaissance ever definitively figured out what this unit was, if a spy got close enough, if a shell landed in the wrong place and revealed a tank bouncing instead of exploding, the men of the Ghost Army had almost nothing to defend themselves with. They were, by design, stationed close to the front lines, dangerously exposed, essentially unarmed, betting everything on the enemy, never looking too closely. And they pulled this off again and again. Historians credit the unit with more than 20 separate deception operations across Europe in under a year. The most audacious of all came near the end of the war, at the Rhine River, where Allied forces needed to cross into the heart of Germany itself. The Ghost Army impersonated two entire real divisions, tens of thousands of actual soldiers, conjuring the illusion with roughly 1,000 men. They ran the inflatable tanks, the sound trucks, the fake radio traffic, and the staged atmosphere, all to convince German commanders that the main crossing would happen somewhere it wouldn't. The real crossing, further down the river, met far less resistance than it might have. Nobody can put an exact body count on lives saved by a bluff. But military historians who have studied the operation believe it was substantial. Here's the twist that makes this story even stranger. When the war ended, these men were ordered to say nothing. The technique itself, inflatable armor, sound-based deception, radio impersonation, was considered too valuable to explain to the world, in case it was ever needed again in a future conflict. So the soldiers went home, and for decades, told almost no one what they'd actually done in the war. Wives, children, even close friends often had no idea. The paintings and sketches many of them made in the field because, remember, this unit was packed with professional artists, sat in attics and drawers. It wasn't until the US government formally declassified the operation in the mid-1990s that the full story started to come out. And it took until 2022, nearly 80 years after they inflated their first fake tank. If you want more true stories of deception, cons, and the people clever enough to pull them off, subscribe because this is far from the last one.